I'm Tiffany Perez, but most people know me as Tiffany Tattooz. I am a tattoo artist out of Woodland Park, New Jersey. I have a shop called Ink Gallery, and I've been a business owner for 8 years and been tattooing for 13 years. I got into tattoos when I was about 21 years old. I was in college and my father bought me a tattoo machine for my 21st birthday. So this kind of just fell on my lap. I didn't expect to do it. I didn't even have tattoos. I never stepped foot into a tattoo shop. But when I became an apprentice and I started learning how to tattoo, I knew that this was like definitely for me. I was ready to drop out of college and all. I was like, this is my career. This is what I want to do. I love it. It's like drawing on skin. So ever since then, I've been sticking with it. And now I'm in the industry full time. I love black and gray realism. That is my thing. Even before I became a tattoo artist, all I would ever draw were portraits and everything with a pencil and a paper, kept it real simple. So black and gray is my thing because it's something that I'm most experienced with. So anything realism, anything black and gray, that is my style.
All right, let's talk about having a stroke.
Okay. It was on a Sunday. I'm usually always off of work on Sundays, so I decided that, hey, why not visit my mother? So I went to my mother's house. We were having dinner and everything was perfectly fine. We were actually like joking with each other and laughing. And then out of nowhere, in like 1 second, I just completely felt very strange and funny in my head. Like I was looking around and I'm like, the walls just felt like they were caving in. And I almost felt like maybe I was fainting, but it felt a little different from that sensation of like passing out. So my mother looked at me, she knew something was wrong. And she's like, is everything okay? Are you all right? And I'm like, something's really wrong right now. And she's like, are you gonna faint? And I said, I think so. So she's like, okay, let's go to the living room, lay down on the couch. So as soon as I made my first step, I got off the chair, I instantly like collapsed. I couldn't hold my body up. I didn't faint, but I just felt like this heaviness in my body that I had no control over my body. It just kind of gave out on me. So they bring me to the couch and they brought me blankets trying to warm me up. And I remember my chest started to hurt really bad. I couldn't breathe. I almost felt like I was suffocating. So I thought that I was having a heart attack at the time. So I was saying, I think I'm having a heart attack. And then next thing you know, you just feel like this sensation come over your body, and I felt tingling in my fingers, and I started to touch my face, and it was just completely numb, like you couldn't even feel anything. And I remember feeling it, like my whole left side just feeling strange and tingly, and then within like 2-3 minutes, my whole left side became paralyzed where I couldn't even move a finger. It was just completely out. And then I'm trying to express myself and explain what I'm feeling, and then I just start slurring my words. I couldn't speak. It's like your brain is literally under an attack and you just can't get the words out. And finally we get to the hospital and they gave me a blood thinner. And the doctor told me, he said, if this starts to work for you, then chances are it's a stroke. Because again, at the time I didn't know what was going on with me. Strokes is something that you hear about happening to older people, not anyone my age. So I was just really confused as to what was going on. So they gave me, it's called TPA, a blood thinner, and they injected it, and they said it would take some time to kick in, but I felt like 30 seconds, my finger twitched and I knew that it was a stroke, because I wasn't able to do that before. I wasn't even able to move my hand. So I had a feeling that that's what it was. They did MRIs and CAT scans, and then they confirmed that I did have a blood clot on the right side of my brain, which is why it affected my whole left side. So yeah, I had a stroke at 33 years old. I was luckily only in the hospital for about 2 or 3 days. I don't know, I had it in my head that I need to get out of here. I did not want to stay in the hospital, so I really pushed to do as best as I can in all the tests that they ran with me. But after I got out, I mean, I couldn't do much on my own. My mother had to take care of me. I couldn't even draw because my brain was just not there. I'm a righty, and thank God, because if the blood clot happened on the left side of the brain, it would have affected the right side, but it was the opposite. So I'm actually able to work now. You do deal with a lot of like weakness, dizziness, and still anxiety is something I deal with. You deal with a lot of forgetfulness, so I forget everything. I have to write everything down in my notebook or my phone because I'll just completely forget it. Recovery it's really, really difficult in the beginning. Right now I'm doing physical therapy about 3 to 4 times a week. On the outside, it might look like I'm regular, but what I'm feeling internally is something that's really hard to explain and not many people get because they don't see it from the outside. So yeah, I still deal with a lot of like mental challenges, and my weakness is, I'm pretty weak too. And that is frustrating because prior to all this happening, I used to always be consistent with the gym and working out and being able to do almost anything. But now it's like a baby starting all over and relearning everything. And that's frustrating because it's like, wow, I used to be able to do this and now I can't do it anymore. It's like the brain is telling the body it can't do it. So what it feels like is my entire left side feels like there's no foundation. So if I were to like lean on my left side, I feel like I'm gonna collapse. It just feels like a weakness and you just can't do certain things. And then my balance is off too, but that has to do with like the mental. So you have to be careful because you can like fall as well. Your brain telling your body you're not strong, you don't have a strong foundation, and that's what it feels like. It just feels like weakness, and you can just kind of like break, and you need to like slowly build up that strength again. My personality is like go hard, work hard. Everything is just very like strong and passionate. So I was like, I'm not gonna stay in the hospital, and I even thought when I was in the hospital that I was gonna go back to work that same week. I told my artist, I'm like, don't cancel my appointments. I'm coming back in 2 days. And he's like, you're crazy. But that's just my mindset. And I think that really helps a lot because it's kind of like you have to learn to rewire your brain. And if you tell yourself certain things and you try to remain positive, it kind of works out for you. It helps a lot. So yeah, I'm crazy. I went back to work, I started driving. Everybody's like, Tiff, no, don't drive, don't go to work. You can't do this to yourself. I'm like, nope, I need to do it. And now I think I'm recovering quicker because of it. Going back to tattooing has helped me so much. At first I was a little nervous because I am a business owner and there's a lot of anxiety and stress when it comes to a business. But getting out and keeping my mind busy and trying new things at work and just kind of going back into that routine really has helped progress me and it helped me with my mood a lot. So I'm kind of grateful that I did take that step and go back to work.
How was that first tattoo?
That first tattoo, I was so nervous. I was in the back room. I remember like shaking a little bit. I'm like, okay, I'm like talking to myself like, okay, Tiffany, you have to focus, relax, doing my breathing exercises. And then when I was actually doing the tattoo, I felt very dizzy. I felt like everything was caving in, and I just had to just talk to myself through it. And I'll take a couple of breaks here and there just to get a breather. But I was able to do it. And I'm proud of myself for that. I think after the stroke, I haven't been able to fully feel myself. So I say that I'm kind of like building a new me. And it made me really think about how consumed I am with work. So I'm trying to make it a priority to really have more of me time and more personal time and not overwork it, because as an artist, like we really get so consumed and focused on things and we forget, like, you know, you really have to come back to yourself. And now it's like a new mindset. I'm just trying to, how can I say, like, just take it easy, because life is not all about working so hard and not living life and, you know, working 12 hours a day and all about the money. It's deeper than that. Like my health, without a good health, like I can't do any of it. So I'm really prioritizing my schedule to like, listen, if I have a day off, I'm taking that day off. I just don't want to overdo it. I never want to go through something like this again. So my health is definitely number one right now. I'm very open about it because I think it's also motivation for people. Sometimes, there are people that may look up to you and they want to know like what's going on. How did this happen? How are you dealing with it now? And to show them like I'm just a real human being going through something that anybody else could go through and I'm fighting through it, I think really inspires and motivates people. And I also just want to spread the message that, yeah, I was 33 when I had a stroke, but it can happen to anyone. So, really take care of yourself and know that there are challenges in life, and I'm putting it out there because I want people to see that you can do it no matter what you're going through. And also to keep track of like my progression, I put it out there so people can see the progression with me. And I just hope that in the end, it really does inspire and motivates more people to just keep pushing through. You can definitely get through it. I mean, there are people who were paralyzed from a stroke and now they're able to walk. And I think that's just a beautiful thing to share the journey.